In this time of the pandemic, where COVID-19 has crippled the world economies, where our government has ordered nationwide shutdown, where hospitals are overwhelmed.
Shortly after, the unthinkable happened.
I was literally stunned and frozen.
And their religious leaders are proven to be frauds. Where do you go to get all your questions answered and to hear what God has to say about this matter? You can only find the answers in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commanding General YAHANNA. We give you scriptural breakdowns of world events and the up and coming world war. We will show you in the Bible where the children of Israel were the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans today would suffer slavery in Jamaica, Caribbean, North, Central, and South America, and other parts of the world. We will show you in the Bible where God said he would send plagues upon the earth before he frees people from this captivity.
The World Health Organization has declared coronavirus a global pandemic.
We will give you the true teaching of the Bible, precept upon precept. To learn more, subscribe today and call the number in the description for I.S.U.P.K Jamaica. Shalom.
Shalom, Israel. My name is Officer Kayadwan out of I.S.U.P.K Jamaica. I.S.U.P.K started 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. I.S.U.P.K is run by Commanding General YAHANNA, the one man with the rank and the authority to lead Israel at this time. I say Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai Brakatam to my brothers. Yahweh Shamar Alatan Ba'Hashem Yahushai to my sisters. All right, so today we're going to talk about, the recent, buzz in the media, in the American media about UFOs, you understand, which stand for unidentified flying objects, which we know to be as, IFOs, identified flying objects, because we know what they are, you understand, for the most part, So there has been a buzz on the American media that, now the government, the US government is going to, now put out some report to verify that, there have been encounters with, some unidentified flying objects. You get what I say? So the question is, what will their report bring forth? You understand? But the thing about it though, we here in the I.S.U.P.K, we don't need to wait on any report, because we know what they are for the most part what these unidentified flying objects that the US government and the military personnel, the Marines and the Navies, the Air Force pilots, have been seen for years now, since the 50s. You understand? Since the 50s. You see me? They have been seeing these flying objects that them can't explain, with maneuvers that for them aircraft can't duplicate. You understand? But we here in the I.S.U.P.K, we know what is, what they are. And the Bible tell you what they are. You understand? These are the chariots of the Most High. You get me? Yeah, man, these are the chariots, that will come and free the children of Israel from this Egypt, from this captivity. You see what I say? Yeah, man, but in the meanwhile, what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to play and elaborate on, a 60 minutes video. You understand? That they were, the host was speaking to some military personnel, trying to get, what was it like to encounter, these phenomenon, you understand? And then after that, now we're going to the scriptures, you see me? And so basically, me there here, I hold it down till my brother Abadawan comes in with the class, you understand, with the Sunday scripture breakdown class, you understand, which we keep every Sunday. So classes are kept, here in Jamaica. You see me? On Sundays at 3 p.m. and on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. You understand? If you want to attend the classes, what you can do is just call the number in the description of the video and we will give you instructions on how you can attend classes. But without further ado, let's just go into the video.
The story will continue in a moment.
So what you're telling me is that UFOs, unidentified flying objects, are real.
Bill, I think we're beyond that already. The government has already stated for the record that they're real. I'm not telling you that. The United States government is telling you that.
Luis Elizondo spent 20 years running military intelligence operations worldwide, in Afghanistan, the Middle East, and Guam.
So you hear what he said, you know what I mean? We're past that, you know what I mean? He's not telling you that they are real. The US government is telling you that they are real. So they're past the stage now of trying to convince people that these things are real. You understand? Because, all right, what has been happening, you know, they have been seeing these objects or these flying objects for years. You know what I mean? And they didn't want to bring any attention to them until now. For what, you know what I mean? For God knows what reason now them want to bring it out, say, yo, them things actually do exist. But we in the I.S.U.P.K and the Commanding General YAHANNA have been bringing it out over and over with scriptures. You know what I mean? Telling you that the chariots are the Most High. You know what I mean? They are the one that is going to bring destruction to this kingdom. You understand? So the military personnel, he might go tell you, you know what I mean, more about them things, you know what I mean, about the Most High's technology, you know what I mean, which some of them are not the Most High's technology, you know. You know what I mean? Let's just get that straight, you know. Some of them are those plies of the white man, you know what I mean? Because the white man always try to duplicate what the Most High have already. You know what I mean? He makes the plane to duplicate the bird. And so now when the chariots now of the Most High, when he encounters them, he tries to, you know what I mean, duplicate them too. You understand? But, you know what I mean, not as good as the Most High. You understand? So some of them are just the white man's ply. But there are some that cannot be explained based on them movement and them agility. You get to me, I say? So we will go into the tape a little more. Of bringing this out. No, nobody knows. But one thing we know for sure is that these, you know what I mean, these chariots are real. So we're going to go to the book of Zechariah, and we are at chapter 5, and we're going to read from verse 1 to 4. See? And this is what it says. Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. So Zechariah sees something flying through the sky like a roll, a flying roll. You see? Verse 2. And he said unto me, speaking about the angel, because the angel was there speaking to Zechariah. You understand? So the angel said unto him, what seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof is 10 cubits. So he might say, oh, him see a flying roll, and this is the length, see? And this is the width. You understand? So he might describe it. Similar to what one of the pilots later down in the video, I'm going to tell you, if I get the chance to go down into the video, you understand? I'm going to tell you, say, yo, it was like a cylinder shape. You understand? Like a roll, like where Zechariah described. You understand? Similar. Not saying this is the exact one. You know what I mean? But just to show you that it's recorded in the Bible. You understand? But here what the angel says to Zechariah. Verse 3. Then said he unto me, this is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. So this flying roll was to bring a curse upon the face of the whole earth. You understand? So, you know what I mean? Many times when these identified flying objects are IFOs, which we know them to be the chariots of the Most High. You understand? Many times when they come into the earth, you know what I mean, is to carry out a curse. You understand? Ultimately, when they come, to destroy this white man's kingdom. It will be for our salvation. You get me? So these are the chariots of the Most High. They are the enemy of the white man. You understand? And they are not aliens. They are here to carry out judgment on the face of the earth. You understand? Like the angel said. You see? For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side. So who's doing the stealing right now? The white man. Him go everywhere and steal people resources, steal people land, even people identity. Him steal even our identity, calling himself a Jew when he is not. You understand? So all those that steal on that side will be cut off. So the white man is going to be cut off. You see? Continuing. And everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side. You know what I mean? According to it. So the white man is a blasphemous bastard, you know what I mean? So he might go get cut off. You understand? Continuing, verse 4. I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name. And we know that the white man swear falsely by the Most High's name. You understand? Saying he's a Jew and he's not. You understand? Let us just play a little more of the tape though. So, you know what I mean? So him basically I describe, you know what I mean, a technology out of this world where him can explain. You know what I mean? A object that can fly in the air, go underwater, you know what I mean? Fly at remarkable speeds. You understand? Him can explain it. It is not of this world, according to him. You understand? This is what they are up against. You understand? This is what the white man, the oppressor, is up against. You know what I mean? He having his foot on our neck at this moment. You understand? Him have to go face, him have to go pay for that. You know what I mean? By facing these chariots of the Most High when your YAHANNA Mashiach come back to this earth. You get me? You know what I mean? In all-time league. Basically, because watch this. No fighter jet, no tank, no, you know what I mean? No missile, no nuclear bomb. You know what I mean? That this devil, the white man, creates can ever compare to the technology or the power of the Most High. You see? So, this is what he's up against. You know what I mean? And as you can see in that devil's face a while ago, you know what I mean? He must say, yo, him surprised, him amazed. He must say, this is what we are seeing. You know what I mean? He's so, you know what I mean, flabbergasted, to use one of them word. You know what I mean? He can't believe, you know what I mean? And what they try to do sometimes, they a question whether or not is Russia or China that, you know what I mean, that are producing these very, you know what I mean, technological objects, for lack of a better way to explain it. See? These very advanced flying objects. You understand? But let's be honest. You know what I mean? If this was Russia or if this was China, America would be destroyed already because they are Americans, America's present enemy. You see? And they would want world power, wouldn't they? They would have want the world power now, so why would they have so sophisticated technology and be giving the white man, you know what I mean, so much time? You understand? They would destroy America already, but the Most High, you know what I mean, he's being patient because he know the judgment of the white man are forward. You see? All right, let me just jump to our next scripture. This is Ezekiel 1, verse 16. And it says, the appearance of the wheels and their works was like unto the color of the beryl, and they four had one likeness. You understand? So Ezekiel saw some wheels. You understand? And he said their colors was like the color of a beryl. Beryl is a green color. You understand? And Salakia, and they four had one likeness, meaning they were identical. See? Continuing. And their appearance and their works was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. So these chariots, right, that Ezekiel saw, they were like a flying saucer. You know what I mean? They were like a wheel in the middle of a wheel. Just picture a wheel. Just picture a wheel. And picture a wheel in the middle of that wheel. That is what Ezekiel saw. You understand? Which we know now because of the white man's media that this look like a flying saucer. And I'm going to explain more. So now we're in verse 17. And when they went upon their four sides. All right, we know that a wheel is vertical. You understand? It stands vertical. So if a wheel go on its side, it is now horizontal. And that is the position that a flying saucer moves. It moves horizontal through the air. This is what Ezekiel saw. You see? All right, continuing. And they turned not when they went, meaning they went straight. You understand? So these unidentified, so-called unidentified flying objects, you know what I mean? They are in the Bible. You know what I mean? They have been entering in and out of the earth, you know what I mean, for thousands of years, carrying out the will of the Most High. You know what I mean? But the white man would like to paint these as being aliens because, you know what I mean, he know his judgment is coming. You know what I mean? And when these chariots come, when YAHANNA forward, Zin, this will be the salvation of the children of Israel for black, Hispanics, and native Indians. You understand? This is our justice for slavery. You get what me I said? So them show you movie like Independence Day and all them thing there. You know what I mean? Say, boy, and there are countless amount of these shows. You understand? Whole heap of movie I show you about, you know what I mean, the Armageddon or the invasion of the aliens and all them thing there. Whole heap of movies. You see it? Whole heap of show. Because them know say this is the way that them end are gonna come. Them know say this is how the Most High go carry out him judgment on the earth. So him show you the UFO them, the flying saucer them, you know what I mean, entering into the earth, you know what I mean, destroying the white man's kingdom, you know what I mean, because him know that is, you know what I mean, literally how his end is going to come. But in his movie, somehow, him come out the victor because he might tell himself the lie that him can defeat the Most High, which will never happen. All right, so let us just play some more of the tape, you know what I mean, and go into some more scriptures.
It was a loose-knit mix of scientists, electro-optical engineers, avionics, and intelligence experts, often working part-time. They combed through data and records and analyzed videos like this. A Navy aircraft struggled to lock onto a fast-moving object off the U.S. Atlantic coast in 2015. Recently released images may not convince you.
I mean, who know what the hell that was? We don't know if that was a flying saucer or Slakia. We don't know if that was a chariot of the Most High. But for years, they have been encountering unidentified flying objects according to how they put it. You know what I mean? They don't know what these things are. You know what I mean? As far as I know, this might just be another one of the white man's technology. Who knows? But we know that chariots enter in and out of the earth. You know what I mean? Chariots are the mode of transportation of the angels. You understand? And this is how, you know what I mean, the Most High carry out his judgment and his curses on the face of this earth. So we're going to jump to a scripture now. Isaiah 66 and 15. See? And it says, for behold, the Lord will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind. When it says his chariots, it's not talk about horse and chariot. It talk about the mode of transportation of the angels being, you know what I mean, the Most High's military. You understand? These are their modes of transportation. In those times, you know what I mean, for lack of a better word, they would have called it chariot. You know what I mean? Because chariot is what people know that carry, you know what I mean, the mode of transportation that carry you from place to place, from point A to point B. So, for lack of a better word, them just call it chariot. But these are the mode of transportations of the angel. You know what I mean? And hear what it says. Continuing. For Slakia, for behold, the Lord will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. So they're going to come like a whirlwind to render his anger with fury and with flames of fire. So they're coming to destroy this earth. You understand? When YAHANNA come back, You know what I mean? And when I say destroy this earth, I mean this world, the white man's kingdom and the kingdom of the other nations, the Chinese, you know what I mean? The Russians, you understand? The Most High is sending Christ and the angels to destroy this wicked kingdom that have their foot on our necks. You know what I mean? That has been oppressing us for thousands of years. You know what I mean? So when this happens, this will be our salvation. We will no longer be the people on the bottom. We will be the people on the top. You understand? When this judgment happens, continue reading. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh. And how does the Lord plead with all flesh? Like it says, with fire and with a sword. You understand? The Most High is not coming or sending Christ to, you know what I mean, to beg the other nations to free his people. He's sending them with his military, you know what I mean, his very technologically advanced military. I don't even know if you should call it technology. You know what I mean? I don't even know if you should call it technology, because if I'm allowed to go further down into the tape, you know what I mean, they will describe the movement of these objects, you know what I mean? And these, it couldn't possibly be technology. You know what I mean? Technology can't move them way there. You see? This is way advanced than technology. You see? So the Most High is bringing his chariot to carry out judgment on the oppressor. All right, so let us just play a little more of the tape to just show you, you know what I mean, what these Edomites encountered and how they, you know what I mean, described it. You understand? You know what I mean? Counter anything like this. If these chariots are the Most High should decide to attack the white man, they are sitting ducks. There's no missile fast enough to catch them. They have yet to shoot down one of them, and they have tried in many occasions. You understand? Now they are setting up, you know what I mean, their space force, like my brother Abadawan brings out, you know what I mean, space force in space, because they know that an imminent danger is arising. You understand? So they know they are sitting ducks, and what they are doing right now, they are putting things in place to fight the imminent threat, which is Yahawashi Mashiach, or Jesus Christ, as the world know him as. That is a black man coming to save his people, the nation of Israel, which are black Hispanics and native Indians. You understand? They know they are sitting ducks. You understand? So this is problematic. Who knows? Maybe because they must see so much of them nowadays that them decide, say, all right, we're going to make this public. Who knows? Who knows what is the white man's plan? You understand? But with the coronavirus and all of them things are happening, him definitely knows, say, yo, some danger is really coming to him. You understand? Who knows? Maybe that is the reason why him start put out them information here. You understand? And like the scripture that I read before said, these chariots come to bring curse. You know what I mean? Who knows if this chariot is what brought the coronavirus? You understand? Which is a plague, which is a plague of biblical proportion. You see? So the white man now probably seeing that something is definitely wrong here. You know what I mean? We are seeing these objects. We have been seeing them for years. And now we are suffering a plague. This sounds like something of, you know what I mean, of biblical proportion. So maybe we should come out and speak about this now. Who knows? Him know. You know what I mean? Him know. And the Bible tells us, yo, him destruction will come soon. You understand? All right, watch this now. We're going to play a little more of the tape, and then we're going to hand the class over to Abadawan, my brother Abadawan. I describe the movement of this, you know what I mean, so-called UFO, you know what I mean? Who know what it was, you know what I mean? But he was clearly a sitting duck, you understand? All right, let me just jump to Ezekiel 1:20, just to, you know what I mean, show you what, you know what I mean? How the chariots of the Most High move. You get what me I say? All right. And it says, whithersoever the spirit was to go, they went. Thither was their spirit to go. And the wheels, speaking about the same wheels that we read about earlier, you understand? And the wheels were lifted up over against them. For the spirit of the living creatures was in the wheel. All right, so these living creatures were the angels, right? And as the angels moved, because now the angels weren't inside of these chariots, you know, as the angels move, it moved also. You know what I mean? If the spirit of the living creature went up, you know what I mean? Meaning the vibe. It's talking about, when you speak about your spirit, it's talking about a vibe. So it moved off of the vibe of the angels. So if the angel vibe was to move up, it moved with it without the angel have to use like any control or anything to move it, or steering wheel, or, you know what I mean? This is how they move. And as the devil a while ago, I tell you now, I tell you, say, boy, it just move abruptly. You know what I mean? It just move out of inside without evil him know, because this is beyond the imagination of the white man. You understand? So, yeah, man. So now they're having this, you know what I mean? This, what I call it now, this uproar. What do you say uproar, you know, but you know what I mean? They are now making this public, you understand, and everybody is amazed. But the Bible have been speaking about these chariots, you know what I mean, for thousands of years, you know what I mean. And with that, I turn the class over to priest and officer Abadawan Banyamian.
Shalom Israel. I want to Rasha Barakatam to my brothers, Ya Shamari, Latan, Washam Rasha, to my sisters. Control the phone. What you're bringing out there, you know, about the angels. All right, just what we're getting into. War. Those
Shalom, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Okay.
saying shalom.
Those spaceship, they call flying saucer. Yeah, man. They're coming to when they have been they spot things flying from time to time. So those Esau says, I don't even know how much we can take with them say, but the Bible records of flying vehicles that Israelites have been seen from time to time, from coming out of Egypt. So it's not so much any secret among the nation of Israel. Well, now it is, because we don't know our history, but back in the days, it's not so much a secret because it's been there in the records. So we don't know what to really believe when it comes to Esau. But what we do know is that our historical record tells us of a time to come when these vehicles will come up in defense of the Most High's people. Defense in the sense that, okay, the punishment is up now and it's time to restore you. But there is someone sitting in a seat, someone that has to be removed by force. So the Most High not going to give us that force to remove them from their seat. He's going to do it himself. Those vehicles will be coming to remove Esau from his seat. Remember the famous Esau at the end of the world, Jacob the beginning. Where is that again? Esau is the end of the world. That is what. Esdras. So.
Second
Esdras. We can find that.
Second Esdras 6 and 9.
All right, let's find that.
Another one can. Canada one can. This is the book of 2nd Esdras chapter 6 and verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it.
All right. So Esau, the white man knows that he is Esau in the Bible, right? And he knows that he is the one ruling the world now. And he knows that what the Bible has said in the past is no joke and is no lie.
Gone.
Also, he knows that he is the one ruling the world, and if the Bible says that he is the end of the world at the time that he is ruling the world, the next nation to rule his world, to rule this world, would be Jacob,
That's
the
right.
children of Jacob.
Gone.
He knows that. He also knows that he can get up and make war with us, open war with us. That would bring utter failure immediately to him. Why? From even other nations to be attacking openly are defenseless people.
Gone.
So what he does now, he uses different methods. Mass incarceration, police brutality, Planned Parenthood, all these things. These are methods, these are war against us.
Gone.
Right? It's not the kind of war that you go into physical battle. So he knows because he's trying to secure his reign over this earth. Yeah, power is one thing. Power, there's no, I don't know of any kingdom in history who willingly hand over power to another kingdom just like that. Okay,
There's no.
it's time for me to give up the reign, give the power to you. I don't know of any such nation, right? So it means that in order for us to become a nation, somebody who is in this space will have to be removed because two bodies cannot occupy the same space. That law of physics is true whatever time, whatever period of time we're into this world, right?
That's
so
right.
therefore the Most High is going to use war to take him out. So Revelation 11 and 14.
Canada one can.
Yeah, so
11 and 14.
Can.
Canada one can, sir. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 11 and 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly.
All right. So this world is on a trajectory preparing for a third world war, a third world war. Now that third world war is an ultimate war that the Bible has been speaking about from ever since the Bible was written. And since this Bible has been written, many wars have been fought throughout the world. And there were probably when World War One came, people say, "Oh, this is Christ returning." Maybe when World War Two came, they said the same thing. But we know that those are the two greatest woes, World War One and Two. The two greatest woes are the two destruction that has ever crossed this, that has ever come upon this earth.
God.
And that those two woe has passed, and behold, a third woe cometh quickly. Now, We know that third war is that third world war. Now, when you look at the economic fallouts from this coronavirus pandemic makes you see a little more clearly. When I say clearly, I mean the possibility of such war upon this earth now increase. What do I mean by that? We see where these fallouts should cause economic problems throughout the world. Already, it's just because countries are not speaking out as yet to say, I'm bankrupt, because they don't reach bankruptcy yet. But countries that have the power are gearing up. China want to go and annex Taiwan. Why? Want to hold on to Taiwan. Which other one? France gearing up for a little civil war. Right? The Central American countries are in turmoil. So whenever Europe is in trouble, we know that they always gear up to go into the world to solve their economic problem. Because really and truly, economic problem is really solved by tangible inputs, you know. What do I mean by that? All right. Jamaica might have an economic problem. What do we do? We go to IMF, right? International Monetary Fund, and we borrow some paper. We borrow some paper which is not backed by anything. It is just backed by the government of this the country issued this paper. For us, we use the US dollar straight, right? If we go to the EU, then we'll get EU dollar or we get pound, we get that country's money. But this whole, you know, this money is just the difference between you taking a paper like this and print money on it, and them taking a special another kind of paper and print money on it. The only difference is that you are criminally liable, but they have the authority, so they make it law for them to that they can print money. All right. When those countries that you borrow from get into trouble, who do they borrow from? Sometimes they go and they print money. Printing money is now becoming a problem in the world. One, you print this mountain of cash back by, and two, the American dollar is now, many countries are now dumping the American dollar. In dumping the American dollars, because all that is happening is that Russia transacts business sometimes in the US dollar, but US keep putting on sanctions on Russia. So Russia announced, since that news came out approximately about yesterday, just maybe about a day now, their reserve approximately $600 billion, right? All right. And about 20%, no, about 40% of the reserve, they say, is a little less than 40% is US dollar. What they are doing now is getting rid of the US dollar out of their reserve and replacing it with EU, pound, and the yuan. So we already know that the US dollar is not backed by gold. It's backed by US military, meaning that countries who decide to stop using the US dollar, the military can come upon them.
God.
Russia now joining this. Russia used to, yeah, continue using the US dollar. US have power because the more countries use the US dollar, the more powerful the United States can be. So when they do that, printing money wouldn't affect them. But the more countries dump the US dollar, printing money is now becoming a problem. That $4 trillion that they spend to bail out the countries, they require it again. They want it back. So you want back that $4 trillion, what do? You tax the people. But there comes a time when you're not able to tax the people that much. Right? So you're not able to tax the people that much to get back that much. And besides, even if the people let's say the taxpayers cooperate, you can't collect back all that money in 1 or 2 or 3 years. So the fallout from coronavirus, you're going to see carried economic price tag for the next 5 to more than 5 years, right? When during these 5 years, you're going to have, these 5 years are going to come with the evils of itself that are now going to compound on these problems. Hence, plus there are more disease on the horizon. Hence, we see more clearly, we can say we see more clearly. Yeah, the third woe is really coming in this world, right? Coronavirus, as we had said many times before, is just the beginning, probably the first strike, the first push towards that third world war, which we know is coming. But where will that war start? Will it start by America say, oh, I'm broke, I'm bankrupt, I'm going to invade Europe, and the third world war start? Nah, that's not what is going to start it. Take me to Isaiah 26 and 20.
Another one, cancer.
These economic problems, they are going to cause war, but it's not what will cause the third world war. It's what will push closer to the third world war. Because one country in economic problem, what he not going to invade the world, he's going to invade another country to solve his economic problem. Because he can't print money no more. So he have to go out and get tangible things, get real gold, real free labor to take back to his country, to put back in his economy. Because the printing money not going to solve the problem, right? To get the real things. So they invade Jamaica, what would they will take from Jamaica? They will try and find where the little bit of gold that we have, where is it, right? They will try and find free labor. They would take your water. They would take whatever assets they can take, right? So these are the things. Because when you invest money, what do you buy? When you put, I'm not talking about paper investment. Like you get $100 million Jamaican dollars. You invest it in tourism. What you do? Maybe you buy a hotel, you build a entertainment service, you build something that caters to what tourists would want, that is tangible. You get what I'm saying?
Cancer.
You put in tangible things in. Now, they're running out of tangible things to do because they have gotten into this paper investment on paper. I come and I borrow $1 billion from you. I lend back 900 billion to somebody else, who in turn lend out back 800 billion. So the money reach down, the amount that is actually invested out of that 100 billion probably is just 10 billion. When it comes down the line and reach that last man, who is now going to go right where you would say wheel hit the road. So you have to go out now and actually put up structures, build the farms, whatever it is. If it's IT, get those IT machines and things on the ground working. That now is going to repay the loan, and it repays the loan up the line. After a while, it becomes a problem. Coronavirus put the entire mill at a standstill. Nothing moved. So no money was being paid or anything. Slowly it is starting to grind. But that short period of time in which Corona put the world into a standstill is causing a backlash. And a backlash which seems to going to be greater than they have expected.
Gone, like a domino effect.
Right, because one of the things, the key workers that you used to depend upon within the world economies, many of them die from Corona. Corona catch them, and nobody is the same after Corona. They say, though, you have a sub ailment. Many of them, those especially in the health sector, they die. Many doctors and many nurses die. Many professionals end up dying from the disease. You got to replace it. Replacing a professional is not something you do in 1 year, you know, unless you can find one to hire from somewhere. But where are you going to hire from? Because everybody have the same problem that you have. You know, retrain professional, which take years. So you start from there again and you retrain professionals. But you're retraining professionals to fit your industry, which is going to take 2 years. It's going to take more than that, but let's say 2 years. You owe the bank now. It's not 2 years down the line you owe the bank, you know. You owe the bank now. So how are you going to wait 2 years to get professionals to fill your industry when you owe the bank now? So these are the problems, one of the problems. We're now seeing it with restaurants starting up back, can't find workers, and it is going to come up the line. Most places that are to shut down when they're ready to start back, they're going to have problems. What they do, right? Now, we understand this is what the move, and then when you look like you're going to recover, because America take time open up back, we know that something is going to lick them. We're just not sure what it is as yet. Right? All right. Isaiah 26 and 20. We read that one.
This is the book of Isaiah chapter 26, verse 20. Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers, and shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself, as it were, for a little moment, until the indignation be overpassed.
All right. What is indignation?
Slovakia, let me find the definition. Indignation, anger, or annoyance provoked by what is perceived as unfair treatment.
Sorry. Come again. Anger or annoyance provoked by what is perceived as unfair treatment. All right. So it says, until what pass? Until the indignation be unfair treatment of what? Unfair treatment of who? And shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself as if hide thyself as it were for until the indignation pass. That anger of the Most High. The Most High is angry with the nations and their treatment of us. Because we know that they are going to come right back to us again to get us to rebuild after the problems that they are going to face. They're coming right back to us, right? Because you build, you get some labor where you they build this. That's how the economies of this world was building. They get labors which was either totally free or cheap. That's how they build. That's the reality. And these are the things that angers the Most High, and they are going to come back. Sorry. They are going to come. They'll be coming back to us, to the 12 tribes. We see already. It's not by chance you have those nations, Central America and so that come up to the US border, you know. Chance. That happened from the same Americans, same Esau who's in the world, going into these countries and getting them up. Whatever, whether by drugs or what, and get these people in turmoil and let them have to leave the country.
God.
When they leave the country, where do they head? If you remember, there was this rumor that Soros, this rich man in America, sponsored some of the caravans that went all the way up to America. Why? Because you want to get these people up there, and they are still coming. This is the free labor that is now going to rebuild the economy, right? Free labor. So they come in, you put them in concentration camp, you hold them there. Telling under the Democratic Party rule in America now, yeah, they're probably treating children a little better, but that's not the treatment that we want to see. We don't want to see our people in cages, right? We don't want to see our Northern Kingdom people in cages.
God.
So they put them in cages, separate them from their parents, and then the society keep quiet now because, oh, they're getting better treatment. They are prisoners. Prisoners for what? Well, guess what? Hear what some of the are saying. Well, they came up here. They're trying to come in our country illegally. But you went into their country to get them up, right? This is the free labor that they are now upstoring. So after a while, you know what happened? These children and people start disappearing from their cages, and you hear that them send them back home, or you hear that, oh, they were released. We got some work for them. They are in so and so working. As far as we know, you go to America and you get a job, you're out in the open, people can see you working and think. But what is going to happen to these people? Bet you any money there are some underground sweatshops and factories that they're going to put these people in, out of the eyes of everybody, right? We already know that they have underground cities. They are going to put them into some underground facility, and they go into work for free labor, and their families are going to believe that they are working somewhere. And because they are working, life gets so nice, and they wouldn't even write. They wouldn't even come and look for us. They wouldn't even this, they wouldn't even that. But lo and behold, they have them to put back the free labor into the economy to rebuild the economy. Right? These mountains of debt that the entire world is sitting on. Esau wouldn't mind it don't crumble. You know. What he wants to do is to build the work up to meet the debt, and clear those debts. He don't want it crumble. Because if it crumbles, the same Esau is same people going to be the failure. So he doesn't want that. So he's going to try and use Israelites to rebuild this economy. Hence, that's the indignation of the Lord. It vexed about that because, but we can't see it. It's only in the truth, you know.
God.
Thanks to Commander General YAHANNA, who from time to time give you know, like a little incision. Take time and cut something like wider and wider. From time to time, he clears the vision. So pretty soon, we'll be seeing a little clearer. Why, you think we're going to just have a race war just like that? Something is going to trigger it. And the thing is that this is going to trigger it is because they want to push you back into free labor. Right? Now they might not say free, they might say cheap. And then we will come up with a fancy word and tell you, yeah, that's what you're working. Right? But this is what is going to cause the indignation of the Most High, causes anger to boil more against Esau, because if this was happening during the period when we were under our punishment, he would allow it. But when the punishment is over, it is over. And from when you read our history book, the Bible, that's how it has always been. So they are going to try and come for us. What they want is perpetual slavery for us, you know. Perpetual slavery. We have got so much in numbers now that they don't need to enslave the entire nation. So you give some freedom, let them be, what I say now? Let them be, some be rich, because the rich one is now going to say to the poor one, man, go to work and keep quiet here, man. We have to play our part, right? That's always gonna be. But the Most I have another plan. In the same way that he allowed the corona to expose many of the things that were happening, that they were doing to us, which we didn't know. Bit by bit, more things are going to expose.
God.
Joel 3:9.
Another one can. Another one can. This is the book of Salakia. Joel. Another one can. This is the book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Make Salakia, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up.
Right. So here now he's speaking to the Gentile nations who are able to fight war. Right? He says, prepare war. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. So this Third World War, since the Second Great War, there is no job out there for mighty men of war again, because there is no great war fighting out there. Right? So they're like asleep. So he's saying, wake up the mighty men, get them back into the groove, get them back, prepare them for war, right? Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. So all these nations, get them, what is going to prepare them for the war? These atrocities, these economic problems, and the Most High is throwing at them, right? You know, getting more and more concerned about the black fungus coming from India. They're trying to make it not leak from India to reach elsewhere, right? These economic, these virus and things, all the things that are causing economic problems is what is going to lead these countries to start seriously thinking about war.
God.
Yeah. Because when you are financially okay, you don't think of war, you think of peace. Because if war break out and you are the one sitting here with the riches, what do you think the poor one going to do? Come and take what you have.
That's right.
So these are not nations that are wealthy, just sitting on wealth like that. These are nations that are in turmoil. What is putting them in the turmoil? You see him, most eyes, these chariots that bring the what? These chariots of the Most High, they bring what?
They bring the plagues, the curses.
The curses, right. And it's not the curses so much against us, it's the curses now against the nations. So the curses against the nation is these economic problem that is going to let them say, why that do a situation, you know. I'm going to just go over this and take what them man they have. So that's we can survive. You get me?
Canada one can.
That's what it's going to come out to. So the Most I know is going to put them in that turmoil. They're fighting with each other. And then, boops, out nowhere, they see something. All right, read 10.
Canada one can. Canada one can, for they know not to do right, saith the Lord, who store up violence.
Hold on, it's Joel 3 then. You know, verse 10.
Okay, that was Amos right next door. Salakia. Verse 10. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong.
Right. So plowshares and pruning hooks is tools of farming. So beat your plowshares into swords. Meanwhile, wake up, take up back your weapon, the weapon that you have put down. All right. So now we see America now building up another force because he has listened to the men on the streets of America since 1969. Listen to our brothers. Listen to Commanding General YAHANNA. Listen to our generals. Listen to our captains. Men now that are captain who have these white men kissing boots and things. When the white man know that, well, any black community can go in and be king, but when he's around these guys who are telling them that, you know, your empire is going to fall, you realize that he has no power. So, there must be some truth in what these guys are saying. So they are researching and they are realizing that it's true. What these guys are saying is true. But we will not go silently in the night. We will fight. That's what they are saying. Hence, they are going to proclaim, they are now proclaiming a space force to fight any incoming thing that is not of the earth. The space force is not to fight nothing earthly, right? Nobody earthly can beat America. Take him on and beat him right now.
That's right.
America, you ever hear about the B-52 bomber?
Cancer, yeah, man.
You know, the B-52 bomber is a plane built from in the 60s, 70s, from way back. You know that?
Slacky, not the exact year, but I know that they had a bomber that was built back in the days, so them still used today.
Yeah, B-52.
Okay, can.
The B-52, which is a stealth plane, one B-52 can take on a whole army and destroy it. And this was built from back in the 60s, the 70s.
Can.
So it is regarded as old. The technology is still being used because none of America's enemy is able to conquer it. It has never been fully used. You get what I'm saying? See where I'm going?
Can, sir.
But America now have weapon that is greater than the B-52. Why? The armies of the earth is only when the B-52 park on the ground. It has never been shot down. It has gone into many wars, and it's a plane they have that has never been shot down. Which means no enemies have ever been able to defeat them. America has never been faced with a war that they need to carry out 5 of their, they have about 20 something. And they have never been into a war that they're able to carry out even 5. The most they use is 1 or 2. When they went on Saddam, and you know what they do with the B-52? Just to drop some heavy bombs. Really, because it's only those planes can really go in stealthy and drop it, go down to the altitude and drop those heavy bombs. Now, if you are not able to fight that, you are now going to build a space force to fight what? Must be some attacking thing that you see from outer space which has been eluding you over the years, right? This technology that you see the Bible describing about, how the chariots of the Most High move. Esau's planes, when they are flying and they have to turn, they do like this. And they turn.
Can.
These chariots, they're flying and they need to go sideways. Come back. Swoops. So that's what they mean. They turn not when they go. They want to go down, swoops, down.
Can.
Up, swoops, up. These are the movements that these pilots have been seeing these flying objects doing over the years, right? But probably we don't know if it's not one of those planes that the America have in Area 51 working on. That is a prototype that can do things like this. The stealth technology that America have, they learn it from Hitler's scientists. Hitler, World War II was what? 1940 something. So these are technologies from way back in the 40s that they have in the American military from these German scientists, which some went to Russia after they defeat Hitler. Some of these scientists went to Russia and some went to America. And these, if you notice, these 2 countries became superpowers after. So it's really German technologies that is still running the world. So America have these scientists and more that comes up after them. These bright people who were not originally Americans, teach them the technologies and how to get stealth and all that, which was from in the 40s. So calculate from that time until now, what have they gained? What have they been able to conjure, to make since that time? Well, they are able to come up with technology suitable to make a space force. Talking about a space force, it means that you are going to have planes that is able to go out of the Earth atmosphere and re-enter the Earth atmosphere while still flying.
God.
As far as we know, you out of the atmosphere, you re-enter, you catch fire, right?
Canada
But
one can.
the Space Force is going to have these. So they have a lot of things, a lot of prototype things sitting down. We don't know where. From long time,
God.
right? These are what are going to come out in their Space Force. So these prototypes that you see, that you would see, we don't know if that those are not what the planes, the pilots see. Prototype means you build one. So from this one, you learn how to make one, you can make a fleet of it, right? It
God.
America's first, the B-52 or B-1. They have a bomber in America. The first stealth bomber they have, I think, which they were able to, it was a plane from Russia, sorry, from Hitler, that a pilot, they didn't pick it up on the radar. It was made of wood and it shaped a certain way, just like the spaceship. And America was going to shoot it down. And they reverse engineer it and get their first bomber, the first stealth plane. So after the war, they took these scientists who have to teach them the stealth technology and so on. Now, imagine if all this energy that they put into war was going into replenishing the earth, making the earth a better place.
God.
Wouldn't the earth be a better place? These are trillions
Canada
of
one
dollars
can.
going into research for war. So what are they doing? Yeah, that is the prepare war. Not preparing for war, you know, prepare war. Trillions of dollars going into war.
God.
Why are you doing this? Because you want to fight the Most High. You realize the Most High is have some technology there. Get my hands on those technology. That's what it's all about, you know. They're trying to preserve themselves, but preserving yourself, which we have learned as Israelites, preserving yourself don't mean go against the Most High. For us, we learn that preserving yourself is just doing what the Most High says. Most High said, don't eat shrimp, crab, and lobster. What do you say? Canada one can. They don't come and say, well, sir, what if I raise the pig generations upon generations, not eating garbage and thing? Nah, don't eat any at all. Now we learn that everything is just Canada one can. And no argument. Or you get your ass whipped. That's what the truth is all about. Getting you to obey the Most High. All right, verse what you at now?
This is verse 11. Verse 11. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord.
All right. Cause your mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Assemble yourself. Right, so the Most High want them to, the Most High is going to allow all the nations, all those who have done us wrong, to gather themselves together. In the same way that we Israelites are to gather ourselves together, the heathens are to gather themselves. Gather yourselves together round about. Right. 12.
Canada 1 can, verse 12. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about.
All right. You think about going into war today? Up Israel is. Israel is a superpower up there, so. That's how you know that the Eden in this world is not the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you know, right?
Gone.
If we had the strength or the not the strength, the means to travel up in that region, trust me, we wouldn't be going there for war. We'll be going there for a better life.
Gone.
We wouldn't be gathering ourselves in that region for the war to fight against nobody. We'll be gathering ourselves for a better life because we want to get out of this hellhole,
Gone.
right? So that's how you know that it's not us. Those people, those Americans, the natives that are going to the bar, they're going there on foot. They're going for a better life. They're not going there to fight the white man. None of them is able to fight. Not even the little troopers that are putting them in cage. They're not able to fight them. So it can't be us that it's talking. This is talking about some mighty nations that are able to mobilize troops away from home up in this region. Right? 12.
Gone. Gone. Next verse.
12, right.
Verse 13.
No, 12. Very 12 already?
Gone.
Oh, yeah. Let the Eden be awake. In the meantime, Joel 2 and 1. Let the Eden be awakened and come to the valley of Jehoshaphat. That's right in the land of the Israeli. The land of where the country that is called Israel now. Right in that region. Yeah. And you think what they think they are going to do? They are going to fight. That is where the Most High will meet them. For there will I sit. So the Most High will be coming down right in Jehoshaphat to rain down judgment on the Eden, to let them know this place ain't yours, and my people need to come back to their home. So get out of their house. All right. What I said, 2 and 1.
Another one. Gone. This is Joel chapter 2, verse 1. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand.
All right, the day of the Lord cometh. Why is it called the day of the Lord? Because that's the day when the Lord is going to have his time. Man is having their time now. The time of the Americans now. Right? They're having their time being the great judge on this earth. You don't do what they say. Trying in whatever way they can, they bring judgment on you. Big bad Russia. What they doing now? More sanctions on Russia. Why? All the countries that are working against the Israelis, they find them out. It's what them name? Iran. The biggest ship in America and Iran's Navy fleet sank the other day. It doesn't matter of time before they investigate and realize that it's some enemy sink it, you know. They are going to find out. They're going to find out that it's the Israeli that sank it, and it was them ship they not just sink accidentally. So. No. Even if the fire is on the ship, you know, that can't sink it. You have to bore the ship and water start get into the ship for it to sink.
God.
The investigation is going to come out. They are going to investigate and find out that it's the Israelis because Benjamin Netanyahu realized what is happening. Bibi, they call him Bibi Yahoo. When Israeli Prime Minister name and Netanyahu, right?
Cancer, yeah, man.
Yeah, man. You know that because he now is in political term. He said the most I push things. That's how it stir up war, you know. Trust me. They talk about war, Lord. Our most high God is the God of war. He know we start war, right?
That's right.
Stir up the parties against Netanyahu in Israel, right? Netanyahu now fighting for his political life because what he realizes is that this new coalition that is seeking to take him out of power is more pro-Arab, more pro-Palestinian,
God.
and he is from parties and belief that is way left. So they don't want none of that. So he's trying to make as much changes as he can before he can come out. Bam bam, cripple Hamas. Put Hamas a couple of years back. Bam. Somewhere they lick the Iranian naval fleet. Just a matter of time before Iran find out what happened, man.
God.
But you see, from time to time, Israel lick these countries military down in the region and they keep them out quiet, you know, because they don't want to get into an open conflict with Israel. So Iran will find out that is Israel, but they don't say anything to Israel, but they will let Russia know who is their closest ally. They will let Russia know, but then keep them out close. But probably they know already that is the media so far and can tell you and know that is them. They that are in there must know. All right,
God.
let's go to Isaiah 13.
Can everyone can. Start at verse 1.
Hold on, let me find it. Yes, start that one.
Can everyone can. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 13 and 1. The burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amoz did see. Verse 2. Lift ye up banner on the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand, that they may not slack ya, that they may go into the gate of the nobles. Verse 3. I have commanded my my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 4. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of Slakia, of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustered the hosts of the battle.
All right, so we know that Isaiah 13 here, it said the burden of Babylon. So it starts about Babylon.
God.
Now, at the time when this was written, you know, when this was written, the earlier Babylon, Babylon the mother, what we have today is the daughter of Babylon.
God.
So Babylon the mother was around. Babylon fell. None of this happened. So you know what the world take this as now. So sometimes it seems like God just write things where just it might happen or it might not happen.
God.
So it's not to be taken literal. This is how the Most High feels about these people. but it's not to be taken literal.
God.
Right? Right? But little did they know that this Babylon would have a daughter thousands of years after. And it's a place, but why is it called a daughter? Because it carries the same spirit that the earlier Babylon carried. They have went into the earlier Babylon and research and look how they operate and has brought it back to America. They went into earlier Egypt, look how earlier Egypt operate and have brought back that spirit into America.
God.
So that is why America can be called Egypt and can be called Babylon. And they have studied Sodom and Gomorrah, and everything is come back into America. And it's called Babylon the Great, mother of harlots. All right. So he has commanded his sanctified one. I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger. So guess what now? It's mighty in face of when Christ returned. Even them that rejoice in my highness. So the noise of the mountain, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations. Gather together. The Lord of hosts mustered. What it mean by mustered? Look for that word.
Another one can. Another one can. The word muster, assemble, especially for inspection or in preparation for battle.
All right. Perfect. So the Lord has bring them there for battle. How did he bring them? Because everybody going up. Some going up to defend the Israelis. Some going up to fight against the Israelis. The face off the two. And then out of the heavens comes Christ. And the fight ceased and turned towards Christ. Then that they're going to form now will be enacted, will be put into operation. So because what they're now fighting, they're now seeking to fight off and invading. They are going to call aliens. God. But we in the truth and we know better. We know those are angels. And from that is why the Bible is relevant for us to know that these are angels and have visited us from time to time. And when I say us, I mean Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans. They have visited us from time to time, give us instructions. This is how we come by the Bible. This is how we become, right? This is how we have won many wars. But now, show himself, Christ showing himself to these nations. Say, come, you want to fight? All right, here I am, and all of you are there. All your heathen nations, right? We don't have any army to muster up and go up in that region. None of us, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we don't have the kind of armies there. But the heathens does. Verse 5.
Verse 5. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land.
Right. So they come from a far country, from the end of heaven, which means that they come from all over the earth.
God.
All right. So in that region, coming from America, coming from China, Japan, India, Russia, Europe, all the different European countries, the Arabs in the region. You think of all the heathen countries around the world. They're coming from there to go up in that region to fight.
God.
Because the Most High has stirred them up in the same way that they stir up, they're going to these Central American countries and stir them up that they have to leave their country. Same way the Most High steering them up for war. All right.
Another one can. Verse 6. Holy, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty.
All right. So this will be the greatest destruction that ever touched the face of the earth. The greatest destructions that ever touched the face of this earth, coming from who? The Almighty. So this space force that the Most High is allowing them, the Most High is just allowing Esau to come up to his peak. You know, train him, can come up. Yeah, but if you are fight now, and then they just go down and beat him like a little boy.
God.
Show him that even when you're at your peak, you're still no match for me.
God.
Verse 7.
Another one can. Verse 7. Therefore shall all hand be faint, and every man's heart shall melt.
8.
Another one can. Verse 8. And they shall be afraid. Pangs and sorrows shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flames.
All right. So he's going to cause their hands and their, you know, like when you see a man who you feel so you can take on and you go up to him and then bops and then start throwing a lick. You say, shit, what have I done? You want to run, but you can't run. So this is what they say, oh, they shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flame. So what catch them? The same thing that the Most High always, when we go up against nation, when we are in the land, that he always use against them. Fear. Let them run.
God.
Right? And then you pursue them. 9.
Another one can. Verse 9. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, cruel both with wrath and fire, slacky and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it.
What does desolate mean?
Another one can. Another one can. Desolate, uninhabited, are given an impression of bleak emptiness.
All right. So why is the Most High laying this land desolate? All right. Let's go to where we can find it. All right. Where is the best place to use for this? Wait a minute. Deuteronomy 12 and 3. All right, go to Deuteronomy 12.
Canada one can.
Find it.
Cancel.
These are all right, read verse 1.
Canada one can. This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 12 verse 1. These are the statutes and judgments which ye shall observe to do in the land, which the Lord God of thy fathers giveth thee to possess it, all the days that ye live upon the earth.
All right, so the Most High gave us some statutes and judgments which we should do in the land. Verse 2.
Canada one can. Verse 2. Ye shall utterly destroy all the heathen. Slakia, ye shall utterly destroy all the places wherein the nations which ye shall possess serve their gods, upon the high mountains and upon the hills and under every green tree.
All right, so we should have utterly destroyed all the places where nations which ye shall possess serve their gods upon the high mountain. So the lands that he was given, we should clear it. All about this earth is about idolatry. Everything in this earth is about you worshiping God or you worshiping idol. You notice there is nowhere in the Bible that says the Most High destroyed a nation because they make too great advancement in technology or too great advancement in anything. It's always about you worshiping the God, the true God, or you worshiping idols. It always comes down to that. Right? So we should have gone into the land and utterly destroyed these gods of these other nations. Verse 3.
Canada one can. Verse 3. And ye shall overthrow their altars and break their pillars and burn their groves with fire. And ye shall hew down the graven images of their gods and destroy the names of them out of that place.
Did we do all this? Did we do all this that we're reading now? Huh?
Salakia, I'm not hearing you so well, sir. Salakia, what you say?
Did we do all
Yeah,
this
crack
that
up.
we were we able to do all of this?
La.
All right. We do all of this. Why? Because for whatever reason, we failed to do it. So let's go back to where were we?
God.
Isaiah.
Isaiah 13 and
Book of Isaiah.
Salakia. Isaiah
13.
13 and that was we read 9.
All right, was it 9 that? Behold, the day of the Lord, cruel both, right? So to lay the land desolate. So we were not able to do as the Most High said we were to do. So all these idols came back. And it's the same idols that find its way into our Christian churches, which is why you find that there is a the job this time. right in the region. So the time to clear the area again, so that the Most High people can come back. So he's making he's making the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. So it comes right back to the same thing in these last days. You're either serving the true God or you're serving idol. All right, verse 10.
Another one can. For the stars of heaven and the constellation thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine.
All right. So many space so many space vehicles, spaceship comes down, blot out the sun, cause darkness. So where America going with him space force with maybe 1, 2, or 300 spacecraft? The most I sending 200 million,
Gone.
sending a whole lot. But the commander for those 8 other spacecraft, the 200 million spacecraft, will be right there in Jehoshaphat. Right? But all these spacecraft will be all over the earth. This is why these nations now all say, Jesus, peace, what we do, we can't take on so much of them. Right? So this is what is going to give them pains. This is what is going to make them be afraid.
Gone.
Continue.
Another one can. Verse 11. And I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible.
That's what, 11. All right. I will punish the world for their evil. Right. And the wicked for their iniquity. So these evils and iniquities is what these heathen nations push against the Most High, the Most High's people. And I will cause the arrogance of the proud to cease. These nations are proud nations. Lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. Right? So all of them will feel, will be brought down to nothing on that day. That's why it is called the day of the Lord. Because they are gathering for battle and they say, okay, we'll take them on for a while. And in one day, all of them get destroyed.
God.
But about the Israeli beat 6 nations within 6 days when they just came up. Moses is going to beat the entire earth within one day. Verse 12.
Another one can. Verse 12. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the gold wedge of Ophir.
Right, the golden wedge of Ophir. Now, why would a man become precious? Because when he kill off all of them, no, the place desolate.
God.
So you'll find one life in there. Wow, we need to preserve this man. Right? You understand? But none will be found. None will be found. 13.
Another one can. Verse 13. Therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place in the wrath of the Lord of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger.
Think of everywhere being attacked because it's in the same time. Sorry, that Babylon will be destroyed. So the war, Christ the commander will be up in that region. But at the same time, what happened? Bam! America destroyed. All the strongholds country will be destroyed within that day. That is how the Most High is going to cut the powers of the world. In the same time when we were going through our 400 years, it was like the earth was up for grab. Right? Coming right back. Coming right back to that. But this time, the Most High will be saving his people to take over. Continue.
Another one can. Verse 13. Therefore I will shake the heavens, and the
Or is
earth
it
shall
14?
remove out of her place.
14.
Another one can. Verse 14. And it shall be as the chase roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people, and flee everyone into his own land.
That's the ones who survive, run back to their country. Right? Every man who survived gone back to his own land. If him lucky. 15.
Another one can. Verse 15. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall be slakia, shall fall by the sword.
All right. So when this happened, bam, the Most High kill the powers. Woo! Bobs, you see some cops harassing some blacks. What do you think is going to happen? What would you do, knowing that the government now collapse, and you see 5 cops sitting down on one of the brothers' neck, like George Floyd, and you know that there's no government there to back him? What would you do? Tell me. Huh?
Would I take vengeance upon them?
Right.
Would I take vengeance?
They can just use what you see in the Bible. They will be thrust through.
God.
Right. So here, and you said the same thing is in Joel, I think, in Israel. And then they find something in Zephaniah and they find saying the same thing. Anyone found will be thrust through. Every man turn to his own people and flee everyone into his own land. That's like the race war, what that America that commanding general speak about.
God.
Right? 16.
Another one can. Verse 16. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished.
All right. So you see those who went up to fight the Most High and then make it back home, and then Christ muster his earthly army and send you back now and say, go get them. They are there in the world, you know. You go get them. Oh, down to the children of these wicked nations you are going to kill. That's what is in the Bible. Their children also shall be dashed into pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled and their wives ravished. This is telling you what is to come. So because it didn't happen in the first Babylon, people say, "Sure, the most I have some wishful thinking." Oh, really? You will see. Verse 17.
Another one can. Verse 17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it.
All right, so the Medes are who? Medes are the Russians of today.
The Medes?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
They are the Russians of today. Now, when America, when Russia on one side and America on one side invaded Hitler at the same time, overthrew Hitler, and get a hold of the scientists on both sides. Russia became communist. They built up the Iron Curtain with the scientists that they got and the technologies that these scientists reveal unto them. They formed the Iron Curtain what we call the communist form of government. They fine. And what America do? America stick to democracy. America become a little more liberal and delighted in silver and gold. The Russians, who are the Medes, did not delight in no silver and gold. They did not seek after riches. They sought after power.
God.
Right? So now that when him steer them up, it's power they're seeking, not money, not silver and gold. That will be taken after I overthrow you. They shall not delight in silver and gold. So you can't buy them out. What I think you can you tell them, say, okay, give you $1 trillion. They have no delight in that. They want power. All right, 18.
Canada 1 verse 18. Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eye shall not spare children.
Some terrible Russians, eh? Kill everything in its path. All right, now the bows. You know what are bows today, eh? Missiles.
God.
Back in the days when this was written, the bows were bow and arrow. You shoot the arrow. I said, you read it and you say, so you're gonna fire arrow and dash young men into pieces. Well, when you drop a bomb, you see it happen. When you drop the bomb and people, you see it happen. Blow them into pieces.
God.
So we know it's the bomb it's talking about. All right. So these are the wars that is going to be fought before this one and all. The Medes are come up against them before the total destruction. 19.
Canada 1 verse 19. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees, excellency shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah.
Now we know that when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah, nothing was left. It was burnt. All right, 20.
Canada 1 verse 20. But wild beasts of the desert,
20.
Salakia, verse 20. It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherd make their fold there.
Nothing. The land that's desolation. But what is gonna be found there? 21.
Canada 1 verse 21. But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and your houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there.
No, this is not something that is far-fetched. When you in the jungles of South America, Amazon jungle, some jungles of Africa, they have found many old cities, ancient cities, overtaken by forests, which animals lived in these places that used to be inhabited by people. So this is telling you that this Babylon will become a place that no man inhabits again, but it's gone back to forestry. That's basically what it's telling you. So from generation to generation, nobody don't live in those cities. Those cities, trees start grow up in there and the whole place covered by forests. And we know that it's wild animals and things in the forest. Wild animals gonna live in those places. It's not far-fetched. It has happened before to other cities, to other countries. All when you read what was around this side of the earth before slavery, you read about the Mayas, the Incas, Maya, Inca, and another one. What's the other one?
Yucatan.
Yeah, no, the Yucatan is a place. Yucatan Peninsula
Okay, God.
was the region here where you call Central America. Yucatan Peninsula, you know, is where you have the Panama Canal, you know, the whole of that region.
Okay, God.
It was inhabited by the Northern Kingdom or Northern Kingdom brothers. Yeah, they weren't following the Bible, just like, you know, different from today, but all those civilizations were crushed. Civilization spread down into South America. When they go through the Amazon, they come upon olden cities that were in the that trees and things take over after a while. Who made these cities and places desolate? Esau. So the Most High is sending back a recompense for him. Make his cities desolate, especially his prized city, Babylon. Make it desolate. Now, what better revenge can you take? What better revenge can you give your people than to make his enemy's prized possession become a place or a thing of desolation? You don't want it. 22.
Canada 1 verse 22. And the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant palaces, and her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged.
All right. Isaiah was at almost 3,000 years now, right? But at the same time, Isaiah got the vision of what was to come in these last days. And people had, well, when first Christians for sure used to believe that it was, they probably still believe. And they said, them things that never did happen to Babylon. When you read how Babylon fell back in the day, the Medes, who took over Babylon? The Medes and the Persians. What did just tell you about a while ago, who's going to come upon them? The Medes will be storied against them. And it's telling us it's like you're going to have an invasion there. Because they have never been challenged on this. No country has ever been able to challenge America on their soil since they become such a sovereign, powerful nation. But somebody's going to do it. And it's right there in Isaiah. All right, give me Amos 5 and 8.
Canada 1 can. Canada 1 can. This is the book of Amos, chapter 5, verse 8. Seek him that maketh the 7 stars and Orion, and turn it.
Hold on. That don't sound like what I want. Or is that 8? Is 18? Go down to 18.
Okay, Canada 1 can. Verse 18. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light.
Right. So we read about the destruction of America, the destruction of the daughter of Babylon, the destruction of Babylon. Whichever one of the books you read it, and you read it in Isaiah, Isaiah don't tell about the daughter of Babylon, it tell about Babylon. When I go into Revelation, they tell about the daughter of Babylon. Now, whichever one you read, what the Most High is telling you here, don't desire the destruction, which is the day of the Lord to come. Don't even bother desire that. Why? Because it's a day of darkness. What is it to you? Right? What we should be doing, fishing our brothers. If the day of the Lord had come already, we wouldn't be in the truth. We would have been caught up on the other side. So it is our duty to go out and save as much of the brothers as we can. So don't desire it, right? Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness. It's not a day of light. The day of the Lord will be so terrible that the Most High have to put us into chambers because he don't want to see how he's whipping the ass of our enemies. Right? All right. So with that, we pass the class to Priest and Officer Kayadwan.
All right, clap it up.
Hold on, somebody asked a question here. Did Mountain respond to that class you did? Who is Mountain?
You probably ask if Muta.
I wonder if it's Muta. Yeah, I wonder if it's Muta he's talking. All right, this is Allah. Oh, Allah I am power. I don't know who is that, who goes by that name. Oh, Muta, same put it here. Okay. So did Muta respond to that class you did on him? Well, I don't know if Muta got that thing there, but that was just the first call. We'll be pushing, man. We have to find him some way. We'll find him somewhere, man. We don't hear anything from him yet. All right, Mr. Power. I don't know if he's a brother. Yeah, he look like he's a brother. Oh, he's a young man. So him don't get him Hebrew name yet. Oh, Desiree, you're here. Shalom, sis. Yeah, we had glorious times at our Passover. Welcome to you all. Okay. Yeah, back to you now, brother.
All right, these are the I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General YAHANNA. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or a sister comes into the school, they are off limit for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or a sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or the sister will court each other. After this 6 months period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, you can find this in Numbers 18 and 21 and Malachi 3 verse 8 to 10. Mean tenth in the Hebrew and is pronounced ma'aishara. 10% of every penny of any increase, Slakia, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocation, hold on. The memorial of the blowing of the trumpet, right? Or are we still in the feast of
First route finished.
Okay, so the memorial of the blowing of the trumpet. This is the first day of the 7th month. Monday the 6th. Monday the 6th of September 2021. You can find this in Leviticus 23, verse 24 to 25. All right. Reminding Akiam and Aquatium to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for I.S.U.P.K events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he is to start wearing all black, which includes black boot, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. And with that, we say a margin, which means to stand. And we're going to say the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew and then in English. Turn and face the east. Abanawa.
Lord Prayer. Abanawa.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Kwadash.
Kwadash.
Aya.
Aya.
Shamka.
Shamka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Malakwatka.
Malakwatka.
Tabaha.
Tabaha.
Ratazaka.
Ratazaka.
Aisha.
Aya. Aya. Aisha.
Barataza.
Barataza.
Kawa.
Kawa.
Aya.
Aya.
Washamayam.
Washamayam.
Nathan.
Nathan.
Lanawa.
Lanawa.
Lakam.
Lakam.
Kal.
Kal.
Yawam.
Yawam.
Wasalak Lanawa.
Wasalak Lanawa.
Kawabwat Nawa.
Kawabwat Nawa.
Kasalak Nawa.
Kasalak Nawa.
Kawabwat Yanawa.
Kawabwat Yanawa.
Wala'a.
Wala'a.
Tabaya Anawa.
Tabaya Nawa.
Wanasayawan.
Wanasayawan.
Abad.
Abad.
Our Shainawa.
Our Shainawa.
Mayan.
Mayan.
Rai.
Rai.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Laka.
Laka.
Amalakwat.
Amalakwat.
Wa'ala.
Wahala.
Watapara.
Watapara.
La'aiwalamiam.
La'aiwalamiam.
Aman.
Amen. In English, Our Father which art in heaven.
Our Father which art in heaven.
Hallowed be thy name, Yahweh.
Hallowed be thy name, Yahweh.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy will be done in earth.
Thy will be done in earth.
As it is in heaven.
As it is in heaven.
Give us this day our daily bread.
Give us this day our daily bread.
And forgive us our debts.
And forgive us our debts.
As we forgive our debtors.
As we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not into temptation.
And lead us not into temptation.
But deliver us from evil.
But deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom.
For thine is the kingdom.
And the power and the glory.
And the power and the glory.
Forever so be.
Forever so be.
All right. Prayer for the curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh.
Blessed are you, Yahweh.
King of heaven and earth.
King of heaven and earth.
And all things living.
And all things living.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh.
Listen to us now.
Listen to us now.
Right now.
Right now.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the heathens.
To the heathens.
That speak against us.
That speak against us.
Thy prophets.
Thy prophets.
The teachers.
The teachers.
Teachers.
Just catching the princes.
The princes.
Princes.
The priests.
The priests.
The priests.
The Israelite brothers and the school.
The Israelite brothers and the school.
And the school.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
and punishment and destruction
punishment and destruction
to the heathen,
to the
to the
heathen,
heathen,
and shake loose the treasures of the rich of Israel,
and shake loose the treasures of the rich of
rich
Israel
of it,
that refuse to give to the school,
that refuse to give to the school,
refuse to give to the school,
force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary,
force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary,
send evils and curses,
send evils and curses,
and punishment and destruction
and punishment and destruction
punishment and destruction
to the Edomites
to the Edomites
and the nations
and the nations
nation,
and their drug dealers,
and their drug dealers,
the dealers,
the court system,
the court system,
court
the
system,
prison system,
the prison system,
system,
Planned Parenthood,
Planned Parenthood,
good,
all the government of our enemies,
all the governments of our enemies,
Amalek synagogues and armies,
Amalek synagogues and armies,
Roman Catholic Church,
Roman Catholic Church,
the Pope,
the Pope,
Islam,
Islam,
Christianity,
Christianity,
Egyptology,
Egyptology,
militia,
militia,
Ku Klux Klan,
Ku Klux Klan,
Aryan Nation,
Aryan Nation,
Skinheads,
Skinheads,
Posse Comitazi,
Posse Comitazi,
the Gay Movement,
the Gay Movement,
the Lesbian Movement,
the Lesbian Movement,
Spies,
Spies,
Workers of Witchcraft,
Workers of Witchcraft,
NASA Space Programs,
NASA Space Program,
Army,
Army,
Navy,
Navy,
Air Force,
Air Force,
Marines,
Marine,
Wall Street,
Wall Street,
open up the internet
open up the internet
and the airways,
and the airways,
the cable access channels,
the cable access channel,
and the radio channels.
and the radio channel.
Convict the spirit of any of thy people
Convict the spirit of any of thy people
that seek to stop us
that seek to stop us
and bring swift destruction
and bring swift destruction
to all the heathen
to all the heathens
that stand in the way
that stand in the way
or try to stop us from broadcasting your word
or try to stop us from broadcasting your word
throughout the planet Earth.
through the planet Earth.
Let loose all the plagues,
Let loose all the plagues,
cause them to go to and fro
cause them to go to and fro
through the earth
through the earth
and consume them.
and consume them.
Let the plague shake
Let the plague shake
the house of the thief and the murderer.
the house of the thief and the murderer.
Let Yahweh shine,
Let Yahawashi,
Michael and Gabriel,
Michael and Gabriel
come down with the flying saucers
come down with the flying saucers
and punish all the heathens
and punish all the heathens
that come up against us
that come up against us
as we speak thy word.
as we speak thy word.
Cause it to be known by all
Cause it to be known by all
that it is the angel that hath done it.
that it is the angels that has done it.
Cause it to be spread through the media,
Cause it to be spread through the media,
throughout the whole world.
throughout the whole world.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
Cause them to shake at their coming.
In the name of Yahweh,
In the name of Yahawashi.
thank you always, so be.
Thank you always.
Prayer for the poor.
Alright, this is the prayer for the poor. In Hebrew, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahawashi,
Yahweh Bashim Yahushai,
Baba Kosha,
Baba Kosha,
Nathan Lanawa,
Nathan Lanawa,
Akak,
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 Larapa,
Larapa,
Kalmakala,
Kalmakala,
Wakalmadawa,
Wakalmadawa,
Akak,
Akak,
Lata'ar,
Lata'ar,
Amatazaria,
Abatazarian,
Akak,
Akak,
Lahakwaya,
Lahakwaya,
Amatayam,
Amatham,
Akak,
Akak,
Irakawa,
Ilakawa,
Atamala,
Atamala,
Lagarashan,
Nagarashan,
Ba'ashem Yahawashi,
Bahasham Yahushai.
Gawada man.
In English, Yahweh in the name of Yahushai.
Yahweh in the name of
How in
Yahweh.
the name of Yahushua,
Please give us the power.
Please give us the
please
power.
give us power.
The power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease.
The power to
Power
heal
to
all
heal
manner
all
of
manner of
sickness
sickness
and
and all manner of disease.
The power to cleanse the lepers.
the power to
Power
cleanse
to cleanse the
the
lepers.
The power to raise the dead.
the power to
Power
raise
to
the
raise
dead,
them.
The power against unclean spirits.
the power against unclean spirits,
To cast them out in the name of Yahushai.
to cast them out in the name
Out
of
in the name of
Yahweh.
Yahushua.
Thank you, so be.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Star, which means to turn. I'm going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher, men of Israel. Amajum Shabbat. Amajum Barak. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Barakatah.
Yahweh Sham Yahushai Barakatan.
Yaramata. One courtesy salute to the sisters, men of Israel. Turn and face the sisters. Amajum Shabbat. Amajum Barak. Yahweh Shema
Yahushai.
Yahushua Alatan Bahasham Yahushua.
Yaramata. Class dismissed.